You're probably wondering what this is all about. Why someone would go to all this effort to recreate an event that lasted just 22 seconds. What I'm about to show you has been replaying in my mind ever since it happened. Some days I'm able to forget. Some nights I'm unable to sleep. I'm recreating my memories so that I can explore them in detail, and I'm sharing my experiences with you so that it becomes less of a burden for me. I thought that my encounters were unique, that I was special. As it turns out, I'm not alone. We're not alone. I'm not sure of the exact time or date, but I was working late as usual, around 7 PM. It was a fairly humid evening back in June 2015. For a while I was aware of a sound. I assumed it was a helicopter hovering nearby. The constant low-level hum was reverberating through every wall and floor in the building. I used cigarettes as a reward, a break, to celebrate milestones during long coding sessions, something I'd done for years. As I was becoming irritated, I took the opportunity to enjoy a smoke outside before it got dark. I lit up and I looked up. That was the first time I saw anything unusual. There wasn't a helicopter in sight, just some indistinguishable dots in the sky above me. I squinted, trying to focus on the objects against the clouds. They were clustered together, flying around each other. They weren't flies, and they weren't birds. I'm not sure what they were. As I stared at them, daylight faded. Surely there was a rational explanation. I remember freaking out a bit, but over the following weeks, I'd almost forgotten about it. It was getting late, so I shut the PC down and took the dog out for a walk with a friend. A peaceful, pleasant walk. A warm summer's night. No moon, no wind, few clouds, sober. We were on a quiet industrial estate, minutes away from where I lived and worked. The end of Alexandria Way. Our cue to turn around and make our way home. The dog was jumping in and out of the bushes, looking for rabbits. We didn't use a lead there, as there was never any traffic, just the odd truck parked up overnight. A few metres before the turn for Barn Road, the girl I was with shouted,
"Look! Shooting star!"
I looked up and caught sight of what appeared to be a shooting star. That was until it slowed down and appeared to stop. I quickly realised that it was coming towards us. The hairs on my neck stood on end. A second light became visible next to it. This one seemed to be moving in a tight figure-of-8 pattern, but became fixed, relative to the other after a few seconds. A third light appeared in front, completing a large triangle shape, and the lights travelled slowly north for about 8 to 10 seconds, never blinking, never flashing. It took 2 or 3 seconds for the lights to change course and bear right. They were now heading eastwards, and continued for another 8 or so seconds, until we lost sight of them over trees on a ridge. I remember walking backwards to the curb, transfixed as we lost visibility. Stepping up on the pavement, hoping never to lose sight of them. I don't think I blinked even once. 100% focus and attention. Whatever it was made no sound No engines, nothing. Silent as the night.
What the hell was that?
The excitement kept me awake all night. I was researching online, calculating the exact flight path on maps, looking for similar reports. I was trying to work out where it was heading, where it came from, what it might have been. Flying saucers? Not interested. Cigar-shaped craft? Don't care. All I had to go off was the lights, the number, the colour, the shape, the silence. I was so consumed with my research, trying to piece this mystery together, that shortly after 9:30 AM the following morning, it took me a while to notice the sustained sound of sirens. A quick search revealed a breaking report of large explosion at a nearby mill. The incident was all over national news. Unfortunately, there were several fatalities. One after another, fire engines came from neighbouring stations to deal with the blast. I managed to find maps relating to ley lines. One aligned perfectly with my calculation of the UFO's eastbound flight path. It was also in perfect alignment with where the explosion actually occurred, although the explosion had happened 9 hours after my sighting. I don't believe in coincidences. Could these two events be related? I felt like I was getting somewhere. I felt like Fox Mulder, consumed by my own investigation. I started out excited, but the deeper down the rabbit hole I went, the more scared I became. This was real. It really happened. I really saw it. We really saw it. I'd smoked tobacco for years, but I gave up the following night. I just stopped. A muscular 33-year-old man, scared of the dark. For a while, I was too paranoid to talk about it on the phone, or to share details of what I saw via email. In time, I started to reach out to people. I was desperate for answers, for information. I contacted a man whose content I'd seen online. His videos had lots of views, and his lectures were fascinating. They were filled with tales from history, ancient civilizations, and with alternative ideas. I needed this insight, because what I saw could not be explained using conventional mainstream theory. I shared my account, and he wasn't as shocked as I expected him to be. Instead, he recalled how he and some friends were an instrumental part of the Felix Lights event back in 1997, and he calmly remarked at how typically these craft would fly close to ley lines to escape the perturbation effects of Earth's gravity. Growing up near Manchester Airport, I did some plane spotting as a kid, and some in my 20s. The only place I've ever seen anything remotely like my UFO is in science fiction movies. You won't see a fleet of these being sold on the news, at least not for another few hundred years. I wish it was commercial. I wish it was military. But what I saw might actually have been a cloaked triangular craft powered by otherworldly technology. It came from the heavens at the speed of a shooting star and slowed down to a silent glide before vanishing, leaving my life in a mess. I've been out at night actively looking for them again, so many times since that night in July 2015. I went back to that location again and again, at the same time, under the same conditions. Each night I return with torches, lasers, radios, binoculars, EM detectors, coffee, stood in the dark alone for hours. I've tracked satellites and seen many shooting stars, but never one like that again. There's only so many cold, wet nights you can take before you eventually give up. I've since moved, but I often stare at the night sky through my windows, hoping to catch another glimpse of those 3 silent lights.